In this tutorial, I'll talk about setting up dispatcher on Mac machine. In last tutorial, I did explain about setting up dispatcher on Windows machine. I would highly recommend you to please go back and check the tutorial because I did explain some important concepts there even if you are using Mac machine. So as part of this tutorial, I will explain how you can set up dispatcher on Mac Big Sur. Even if you are using the older version, it's the same for previous versions as well. I will not explain Apache web server because Mac comes with pre-installed Apache version, Apache web server. We'll see what is the current version is. So I'll be using Apache 2.4.46, which is already installed in my Mac, and dispatcher 4.3.5, which is the latest version, which is released in last month. You have to take this dispatcher as per your machine because I'm using Apple M1 chip, so I have downloaded as per my machine. I'll show you from where you can download this. You can download dispatcher from this URL. It's a free and you can download it over internet without any login. So there's two versions for Mac. One is for 64 and this is for older version. So you can download as per your need, as per your machine. So the configurations are same even if you are on Windows or Mac. The only difference you will find here is Mac is more restrictive to change library files. You won't be having access to internal library files. Means on Windows you can straight away go to the C drive and in the folder where software is and you can change the files, but here you must see whether you have a proper permission or not, even you are the admin of that machine. So I would highly recommend please check your access level. So the most common problem you will face here in Mac is you won't be having proper permission to that folder. So now let me show you how you can check the permissions and where the Apache is already installed. So guys, on Windows we did everything using UI because on Windows we do not use the commands, but in Mac because it's a kind of support the Unix kind of commands, so either you can do it through UI like we did in Windows, or you can completely do all your operations using Unix commands. So first I'll show you through the UI because if you are new Mac user and you don't know the Linux commands or Unix commands, you won't be familiar with. So I'll show you first with the UI and few operations through the commands. Even in this series, before I move to actual Linux version, when I will be explaining setup on Linux, I'll have one tutorial purely for the commands which you need to know. Okay, so to open Finder, what you have to do, press Shift, Commands and G. So here the Finder will be open on Mac. Shift, Command, G. So if you check now, you have to go etc, it's under private, but if you type etc you will find it. So if you open this, you will find in etc Apache 2, your Apache is installed here, right? But if you check the permission here, let me show you. Even I'm the admin of this user, this is my machine. You will see here system wheel everyone. Only the system is having read and write operation. Rest of the other users having only read operation. So let me open one more folder and let me show you, because this is the library files means for the Mac, so you won't have permission. If you try to add something or edit, you won't be able to do it. Now let me open one more folder here. You will see this is the folder where I am using and I have a control here. So if I see here, you will see two things here. Here I'm the user, I'm having all the permissions, read and write, but here in the library files where Mac means Apache is, you won't find the permission. So if you try to do it, you might get permissions error and you will not understand what is the problem. So that's why I'm just explaining it to you. So the most common problem you will find here is the permissions. You will be doing everything correct, but you will see some permissions related issues in your logs. So make sure you have a proper permissions. So let me show you something. Let me close this. If I open this httpd and open it using one of the test editor, and if I try to save anything in this, you will find error because you can't add it. You don't have permission. Even I am the admin of this machine. So still there's two ways. One, you can log in through, if you are using terminal to perform your operations, you can add permissions. For now you can add all the permissions, or you can add permissions through here as well. So what you can do here is, okay, let me close this. Okay, this is folder, so just open this first. Obviously you have to add your user, it will verify your user is, so first add here, and now you can add yourself or any of the user. Now you will see I'm having my user has been added, and I'm having only read, so I'll do read and write, and I'll just lock it again. That's why. Even if you updated the permissions for the folder, means parent, still you can have issues. So I would say, please make sure you have proper permission. Even I have added permission, if still I see this file, it is under that, still I don't have here. So I have to add it here. Otherwise, you can perform your operation as a root, or you can add the permissions through the terminal. That I will explain. So I can add here as well again. Now, if you're done with the permission, now you can save it. Okay, now I don't see any error. So please make sure you have proper permissions. Now go back to the configurations. So configurations are same as I did in Windows, just I'll change the path. So once you download that dispatcher module, the dispatcher module comes with 2 files as well. This dispatcher module comes with dispatcher.ini and some sample files, which has the sample files and the dispatcher module. So you have to add this module in your Apache module. So if you go and check where the modules are, if you see here in HTTPD, HTTPD is the starting point of your server, Apache server. So you will be including that dispatcher module in Apache module. So if you see from where it is loading modules, so these are the modules. Right? If you see HTTPD, you will find these are the modules which are already there in Apache. So if you see, it is loading from this libs exec and Apache and then modules. Parent path is the home, means the root path is this. If you find here user, so if you see, these are loading from, I'll show you the path again, shift command G, not here, open in this finder, shift and user. It's not USER, it's USR. There are 2 folders here. User, if I open here, you will find this lib, this folder, and here Apache, where all modules are. So it is loading the modules from here. You can keep your modules here, or you can create any other folder. You can keep that dispatcher module there. The only important thing is, wherever you keep it, you have to load that module from that folder here. Okay, and make sure that folder has permissions to read that module. So to keep module, I don't want to keep modules with Apache modules, because in future, if Apache will install it, it's a possibility like my module can be override. So what I'll do, I'll create another folder inside private, because all are folders in private, and I'll create one more folder with the same name. So whenever I try to do it, again it will ask for these permissions, because again my user does not have permission and it's a private space. So what I'll do, rather than doing here, I'll use my terminal now, and I'll use commands, Unix command. So let me open this. I'll add it here, and first I'll make the root access. Root access, why? Because root will be having all the access. Sudo, how you can get it? Sudo su hyphen. So it will ask for the password, your machine password, or whatever the password you have. Now I'm in root. If you see, I'm in root. If you check the which directory I am in, pwd. So I'm in root. So now where I have to go, cd/private. So here I need to create that folder, right? So what I'll create, I'll create mkdir is the command to create folder, and then lib exec. Okay, it will create. Now this folder has been created. If you see, if I do like this, you will see this folder has been created, new folder, and I'll create inside this, I'll create one more folder. I'll go here and let me do it mkdir. You can do it in a one shot, right? You can do mkdir and then complete path, so it will create. So what I'll do, Apache 2. All right, the folder should be created. Now if I check now ls-l, it will give you these folders, means inside, and it give the permission as well. What are the permissions? So these are the folder. So what I'll do, I'll copy my module from there to here. So I have opened a terminal inside the folder where I am. So I'll use terminal to move this. So what I'll do, I'll use move, and the name of my dispatcher is dispatcher. This, okay, this is the, and where I want to move it, I want to move it slash private and libs, if I'm correct. Yes, Apache, correct. And if you want to rename it here, you can name something else. So what I'll do, I use mod dispatcher, because these the format all the modules using so. Okay, so if I hit this, there must be a folder. It's saying the permission denied. Again, you see I don't have permission. So what I can do here to make the permissions, my terminal is already here. So what I'll do, sudo chmod 777 is for all permissions. I'll not explain what is that. These are the just the command, Linux based command. You can go back and check. And Apache 2. Okay, it must see now. If I check ls-l, you see I have all the command, all the permissions. If I try here again, I should be successful. Yeah, it's successful now, because earlier it did not have permissions. So that's why I said the most common problem you will face is the permissions. Okay, so it's better to use terminal or UI, but check your permissions. So you see this has been copied. So if I check path here, now you have to load this module. So let me check what is the path here. Okay, this is the path. Let me copy this, and now let's load this module here. All right, this is the path, and my module name is md, this one. All right, and let's name it dispatcher module, and let's save it. Yeah, it has been saved. Please adjust your path accordingly. Okay, so because my dispatcher, this Apache server is not running, that's why you did not get any error. So when you add this module, you might get error. Okay, so first let me tell you, I missed one part, how you can check the versions. Okay, so let me close this and let me open a new one. Okay, so to check version, what is the Apache version, what you have to do is httpd-v. So you see Apache, the version. Okay, now how you can start this? So what you can do, sudo is to get root access, Apache ctl and start. It will ask for the password. All right, so see this, you see this came. Reason being is, as soon as Apache start, it's saying you are trying to load one module which is not trusted. Apple cannot trust that. So for this, what you can do, it will keep asking you again and again and again. So what you can do, go to this preferences, system preferences, and let me do okay. It will again open. Okay, this will keep opening. So let me go back to this system preferences, and you must have securities and general. It must ask you, see, this is asking, as soon as you module this options will come up, otherwise you won't see this option. So first you have to open it. Let me give my fingerprints and allow. Okay, once you allow, then it will not come again. Okay, it says okay, so right, fine, no problem. It came now, it's fine now. Okay, so this is the problem you can see. Right, let me close now, and if it is started or not, so what you can do, go to your browser straight away and hit localhost, because I'm running that on port 80. Yeah, it worked, right? That means Apache is up and it has already accepted our dispatcher module. Now let's see the configurations, what configuration you will be doing. So I'll do the configuration through this terminal. You can do it through UI as well. It's completely up to your choice. So if you go back and see the folder which you downloaded, so you will find some configuration httpd dispatcher.conf, which contains some sample configurations, and dispatcher.ne. So I'll keep this dispatcher.ne inside conf folder /conf, means inside your Apache, and then conf. So I'll create one folder, one directory. Let me show you where it is. So let me go to etc and then Apache. So I'll create one folder here. So I should be able to create folder because I have added my access, and I'll copy that file here. Okay, this one. So let me copy this. Let me do it through UI only so that you can relate yourself. Okay, copy this. This has some sample configuration. We'll change few things in this. It's not same. So let me copy first. All right, Apache 2 conf and copy this. All right, now if you see, this contains some sample configuration. So if I open this, see this thing, this module, if module section, you have to add in your httpd, means Apache's httpd. We will make these changes, some changes here, that's for sure, but this is the code. What we will change this path, log file path, and few, only this one, and I'll show you what we will change according to our system. So after loading modules, I'll paste that part, okay, and I'll change. We will add one more directory tag here, as I did explain in detail in Windows related tutorial. So that's why I said please go back and check, where I did explain concepts pretty well in detail. Okay, let's see what did I update here is. So the dispatcher file, where the dispatcher file is, so it's a dispatcher dot, here it's a log file. So where the dispatcher log file is, so I'm keeping that log files same place where the Apache log files are. Here is the dispatcher configuration file. So dispatcher.ne is the starting point of your dispatcher, means where the dispatcher start reading your configuration. So this is the file. I gave the complete path. So I did explain about these in detail in previous tutorial. Please check that. Okay, rest of the things here in new directory. So here it will check, like I'm setting this handler. What is the actually handler which will use to interpret these configurations? Means I would say I explained this in detail in previous tutorial. Please go back and check. And here in dispatcher.ne, the only thing I change here is this root, doc root path. Basically doc root path is the path where your cache will be creating. All right, and apart from this, I did not, all these tags, attributes like form, virtual host, this I did explain in previous tutorial in detail. So all the path I mentioned must exist, otherwise you will get error. So if you see here, this path must exist to avoid any error already. Now everything is done, and now let me try to restart this server. Okay, if we'll face some issue, we'll see the logs and we'll figure out what is the problem. The same way you can start and stop if you want, or you can simply in one command you can do restart. Okay, again the password I have to give. All right, that means started. Now let me go back and check the browser first. So if I open and refresh, it says not found. Okay, my AEM publish instance is not running, so that might be the reason. Let me restart, start my publish instance. Oh, great, it's working. If you see, it's working now. As soon as my instance is up, it's working now. So I'm able to load page through this because it's working on port 80, so localhost is enough. Now let's check the cache as well. So where we are keeping cache, okay, let me check here, and it's under private var w, this one. Okay, This is cache. And let's check the log as well. Let's check, open the log file. So you will find log file here. If you see in this module, I'm keeping log file here. So you can go and see the log file. This is configuration file. This is the log file. Private. I'm keeping same place where Apache contain other log files. So if I go, I have already opened this one log file. Check the logs. Okay, it's generating something. And all right, cache, try to create. Okay, it's trying to create cache. So let's see if cache is creating properly or not. It must be under var. Let's go to the complete path, private. And what was the path? Var publish var all right. Okay, even that folder is not there, so cache is not getting created, and I should see in dispatcher log somewhere it's not great. Okay, yeah, if you see here, right, let me zoom a bit. It's saying unable to create this directory, because even if you see, this directory does not exist. So that's why I said please check the permissions and folders. So let me create the folder here and let me set the permission properly. It will start creating cache. So let me do it through terminal. Okay, let me open another one. Okay, let me get the root access first, sudo su hyphen, and now again it will ask for the password. Now let's go to the place we are /private. All right, var ww, it's not there, so let me create in a one go. Cd /private and var, come here and mkdir -p, and what should be this one /publish. All right, it's a read only. Let me create this first. In which directory I'm in? I'm in var sudo mkdir and this one. All right, it's getting created. If I go inside, all right, let me create one more, sudo mkdir and publish. All right, let's check the permission as well. Okay, it has permissions, but still let me give you complete permission so that I don't face any issue. Sudo chmod 777 for complete permission for all users. Okay, you should not do it. Ideally you should not do it. This is just for the learning so that you don't get any issues. All right, if you see now, and you will see the difference here. After all permissions, you have these permissions. Earlier you had these permissions. Now I'm hoping cache should be created, and first of all I must have folder. Yeah, this is publish. So now hopefully cache must be created. If I refresh this now, yep, you see this cache, this is creating cache now. Right, so that way you can configure it. Now let me give you a brief idea about this dispatcher.any. all right, you see this, even I have already explained this, right? I would highly recommend you to go back last tutorial and see, but still let me explain a bit here. Form, these are the form files for each domain. Ideally you can include one, or you can multiple your configuration, you can duplicate your configuration. Name of your farm file, okay, and client headers. Basically what are the client headers you want to allow? You can allow through this section. Right now I'm giving star, so that means all the client headers are allowed. Virtual host, if you want to map, let's say you have multiple domains running in, you have multiple projects in your one AEM instance, and you So you want to map your multiple domain to multiple contents, means different domain to different content on the same machine. For that purpose, you use virtual host. We'll see that in detail in a separate tutorial, where even you can define different log files, different virtual host file, lot of things completely separate for separate domain. Now, using renders, you can map your AEM instance to this server, means to this, for this Apache. You can have multiple renders. Inside this, host name and port name are mandatory. There are few other parameters. We'll see that in details. Filters. What kind of request you want to allow to go to AEM? What kind of request you want AEM to be served from AEM serve? So that filters, that rules you will be adding here. Cache related rules you will be adding here. What things you want to cache, what you want to remove, the means avoid cache. Doc route is the path where you want to create cache for particular. You can create, as I said, for separate domain you can have separate configuration. We'll see that in detail. Other rules, caching rules, invalidate, we'll see those configurations in detail in separate tutorial. So now I hope you understood. If you have any question, please do comment. Thank you.